Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 501. 501. Recorded on October 24th, 2024. On this week's episode, we talk about a few Nintendo items, such as Sakurai's end to his YouTube channel. And we talk about some Yooka-Replaylee on a Nintendo system of some sort. And then we talk about some NSO game trials, some upcoming games, and our question of the week, of course. This is the Nintendo Dads. Jesse, you know what to do.
All right, what's up, everybody? Episode 501, working on the next 500 here at Nintendo Dads. It's October 24th, 2024, and joining me tonight on the show all the way from the Great White Frozen North of wherever he's at, Wisconsin, Minnesota.
It's Wisconsin now?
Canada, Michigan. Tim Off, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. I don't know if you could tell, but I completely forgot about being prepared for the opener, so I had to wing it.
You did a great job. It was really good. It was really good.
But yeah, I do pretty good. It's different feeling that we got past that 500 episode. We've been talking about 500 episodes for ever since 400 episodes. We were like,
right?
okay, what are we gonna do for 500? And then finally we passed it. Now it's like, now we get to look forward to May next year.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was telling a friend of mine in my class that, big wind up to 500. 500, we had a big celebration, and 501 just seems like a significant downturn.
We're right back.
And there's no significant milestone anywhere near us. It's like,
no.
you celebrate your 21st birthday, you celebrate your 25th birthday, but who cares about that 23rd birthday? That's kind of where we're at right now.
Exactly. We are literally right back at one, like Brian McKnight.
Yes.
Some people will get that. Jesse,
I said, our big thing that we're looking forward to is next May. So
that's true.
PAX East.
True. Jesse is also here with us, currently under the gun in a line of thunderstorms. So we're going to keep him around as long as we can. He's monitoring it from Waldack 1, which is his storm shelter.
When I was a kid, I actually had one of those weather kit prediction kit things. And I made a banner with my computer and printer that said the WLDK Weather Center.
I love it. We predict the weather around here at my house with this little crystal thing that my wife got me for Father's Day. It says it's supposed to cloud up, and it never has. But it looks cool, and it's a way that when I look at it, it reminds me that she loves me. So, because she knows I'm a weather nerd. I am the guy who, if it's going to be bad weather, because for whatever reason, bad weather here always arrives after everyone goes to bed. So I stay up.
That's the way it works, doesn't it?
Stay up and watch the weather.
Yeah. I just hope we don't lose power, because if we do, then I'll lose the recording. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, you know what?
That'll be the end of the show.
It'll be all right. Be like, we're going to talk about bloop, and that's it. That's it for the week. So with that in mind,
I'll have to, if that happens, I'd have to re-download the episode from YouTube and then post what we got.
Well, hey, here's what we'll do. With that in mind, let's dive straight in and get to the news, shall we? And our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to our Discord, ad-free podcast feeds, access to the dinner table every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern, and random prizes and giveaways, like a couple of weeks ago when we gave away a Zelda-themed Nintendo Switch Lite, as well as mystery boxes that people won for watching along with episode 500 last week, or just being a patron of the show. It was just a really cool experience, and it's really cool to get to hang out over there with you guys. There's a lot of interaction. We get our questions of the week a lot of times from the Ask the NINDADS channel over there on Discord. And you're making a huge difference, even at $1 a month. You help us continue to make great content. So if you are not already, head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Sign up. If you do the yearly option, you get a month free. That's our gift to you. Yeah, the best part, I think, is that ad-free podcast feed. And so you can check that out over there at, once again, patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where when we get to a certain threshold that we haven't mentioned yet, Tim will take his shirt off.
It's a super secret number.
Surprise. Just one day you're gonna show up to the podcast and there's gonna be no shirt, and there it is.
I think what would be even crazier if you said one day we reach that number, there will be no hat. I think people would lose their minds if I said no hat.
Yes, that's what we'll do. No hat, no shirt.
We already did the no shirt. We already did the shirt thing.
You're going to be completely topless.
There's not
no shirt, no hat, no headphones, no glasses, no nothing. Not even the top of your house.
Chris says, everything else will be gone but the hat.
Anyway. Hey,
there, how about that for a background?
There's that. Hey, Jesse. There's a fun guy. There's a fun guy on the on Facebook on chat. You want to take care of him? Thought he would come in and be cute.
Oh, awesome. I like his name too, Peters.
Well,
yeah. Anyway, we can make sure
he's on Facebook. I don't think I can't do anything about him.
We can make sure he's blocked later. Anyway, let's get to some news and headlines right here for the week. Masahiro Sakurai, the developer of Super Smash Brothers and longtime friend of the show, has ended his YouTube channel with a final video. This video was over 40 minutes long, and he spent a lot of time talking about Iwata and also what he was doing later on. Yes, Tim, you okay?
I just noticed Jesse's background.
Yeah, he's showing us. He's literally, there's right behind him is Kickapoo, Leavenworth, and Tonganoxie. Also,
I just look over and he's got the weather.
Off to the left there that you can't see, there's Manhattan, Kansas, which is not as good as the real Manhattan. If you're in Manhattan, Kansas, we apologize.
Well, that's a college town, so there's a lot.
We apologize. Anyway, so just a question: were any of you guys able to watch this final Sakurai video?
Yes.
I did not. I haven't watched most of his last month of videos.
So Tim, that would make you the only one who was able to actually get to the video. Why don't you able to give us a quick little rundown of what he was of the gist of the video and what he talked about there?
Yeah, basically he kind of broke down what led to those videos. Essentially, he broke down to the things that he was doing. He was finishing up Smash Bros, Ultimate Smash Bros, and then there was a gap in work that he had to do. So he decided to, after some thought, he came up with doing these videos to give back to the gaming development community, to kind of give information, and also to anybody else who else was interested, professional wise.
And with how much money he spent producing these things, I'm surprised he didn't have them monetized. He probably could have profited with how many people watch those things, but none of them were ever monetized.
Yeah, it was very interesting he broke down that information, the cost of everything, so that people would know. It was very
in the area of $600,000.
Yep.
Total.
Almost what was it? Almost $1 billion, or no, 100. It
was like 9 million yen.
Yeah, it was up there. So I thought it was 90 million yen.
Could have been.
So, but anyways, it was a large number. He spent a lot of money on it because he hired other third parties that he was familiar with to help with the translations, the video editing, and all that kind of stuff. Then he broke down some of the data as far as how many people were watching where between Japan and US and all that kind of stuff, or who watch in Japanese, who watch in English. He did talk about why he had a gap between games, meaning that, yes, he finished Smash, and then he proposed a game. They accepted that proposal, and he had 6 months before starting to work on that game. So yes, that means he is working on a game at the time of while he was doing those videos or releasing them. So that was mentioned a few times that probably since it's been since 2022 that he's been working on it, there may be an announcement on that game soon. Um, so whatever that is he's working on. So it'll be interesting to see he's doing. But it was very cool. And there's stuff I'll probably go back and rewatch because even though I'm not a game developer, there were things that in all aspects of gaming development that he talked about. And then of course there were other things, not just gaming development, but there's like grab bag things that he had. But all throughout the series, there were various things that I learned from it that could help me professionally too. So I gained some knowledge from that respect.
What if the real game in development was the friends we made along the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Possibly.
So as Tim mentioned, he said he had started development of this new game sometime around 6 months after the end of finishing up on Smash Brothers. The quote, "I'm sorry I can't share more about this project, but assuming that we're able to get it made, it should be announced sooner or later," which is a fun quote because if you know anything about Masahiro Sakurai, uh, notoriously a perfectionist when it comes to games that he makes, the minutia down to minute detail. And so I think, what's the likelihood that this is for Switch at this point, or is it for the next system?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be for the next system.
Yeah.
All right.
More
So
than likely. Although going with the rumor we were talking about, or we'll be talking about later, I guess if it's a new game, it's for the new system. But if it's a remaster, then maybe it's something that he wanted to remaster to bring to the Switch, and maybe that's another game to kind of that'll come in
Icarus.
the early part of 2025. Yeah,
I
maybe.
know that people are going to say Kid Icarus. I would really love for it to be Kid Icarus, but I don't know that it's going to be Kid Icarus. Does
Yep.
that make sense?
No, and it's because everybody wants that for sure. Me being one of them, I would love to see Kid Icarus, the remake of the 3DS game.
People are saying that because for a remaster because I don't know if he's worked on anything else besides Smash and Kid Icarus in the last 20 years.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. He said he wrote that proposal pretty quickly. So either he already had a game idea in mind and that's what that proposal was, or he had a game in mind to remaster or redo. And that's why it was a quick proposal. We'll see what it is, and I look forward to seeing whatever it is that he decides to do.
Good deal. Good deal. Speaking of remakes, remasters, or new games, or quote unquote new systems, Yooka-Replaylee was announced today from Playtonic Games. This is a remake of their 3D platform, Banjo Kazooie, Donkey Kong esque inspired platformer Yooka-Laylee. And it was announced as coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and a Nintendo system.
Yep, sounds about right.
Yep.
So
it will be a Nintendo system.
If you go and look at the trailer at the end, there are clearly logos for Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and just Nintendo's logo.
Mm-hmm.
Not Switch, but just the Nintendo company logo.
Yep.
That's probably how I would do it too if I was in.
And when mentioned that it was just the Nintendo logo, Playtonic seemed to tweet respond to the screen with the eye emojis. They know something we don't know.
Well,
but then now, doesn't everybody?
Yeah, at least half the developers out there, I'm sure, have a dev kit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, just interesting to know that, when that gets a date, maybe we know. Maybe we start to put some puzzle pieces together.
I have a feeling we'll have the system launch date before we have this game's launch date.
Okay, I hope so.
I hope so too.
The news is getting scarce out there. It's like the Wild West.
Yep.
At this point. And I know they just want to ride out the rest of this year. They want to release the big games they've got. I mean, Brothership is obviously a huge game that's coming. Echoes of Wisdom is still a huge game. That whether we're finished with it or not. But just good.
We got Brothership and Dragon Quest coming out within a week of each other.
Choices.
I'm
gonna have to make choices.
See, and I'm fully on board the Brothership train, which means Dragon Quest 3, even though I really, really want to play it, is going to have to wait.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to sit on Dragon Quest until I finish Brothership, because if I stop one to play the other, I'm not going back to the first. No, I am getting Dragon Quest physical, so there could be a shipping delay involved in that, which will help me, but we'll find out what happens.
And I mean, out there too, just want to throw this out here. Mikey Burgett reminded me of this, that Brothership has already been leaked to the internet in full.
Yeah, I heard that.
So,
why we can't have nice things, internet.
Yep.
Between doing that and leaking
can we talk about
game.
Speaking of leaks, the Nintendo playtest.
This is why Nintendo
is
shutting down emulators.
Yeah, the Nintendo playtest program stuff leaked within 3 seconds of people starting to get their codes for the actual game download.
Yep.
And I'm in there, and I'm not going to say anything because they ask us not to. Because you know what, I want to I respect the relationship we have with Nintendo.
Yeah,
and I want them to
we want to continue to play
relationship.
Nice and
Yes,
not
that's right.
Get on the Ninja's bad side.
No,
we don't need ninjas here.
Yeah, I noticed earlier too that somebody tried to they shared a 90-minute no commentary play session on YouTube. It's already been struck. It's already gone. So anyway, one of these days when they let us talk about it, or if not at all, I'll tell you all about it, my thoughts. But till
did
then,
they have a time frame when you on the NDA?
Nope.
Did you say don't talk about it ever?
They said just don't talk about it. And Tim, to be clear,
we know there's an end date to
the end date is November the 5th.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, the afternoon of November 5th is the end date.
Okay.
So yeah,
it's the Nintendo Fight Club. We don't talk about.
I really hate to I really hate to spoil this, but really what it is it's a program where you count all the votes from the presidential election.
Twice, because they're not going to elect the first time, and so you have to do it again.
Right. So that's what we're doing. We're just carrying massive sacks of ballots.
It's an everybody vote channel dedicated to presidential elections.
That's all it is. It shuts down on the afternoon of the 5th.
No. The Hanging Chad Simulator.
There you go.
Told you we weren't supposed to say anything. Here's something we can talk about, though. If you're a Nintendo Switch Online member, you have access to 3 different NSO game trials going on right now through next Wednesday. You can download A Little to the Left, which, by the way, is excellent. Highly recommended if you love puzzle games / lo-fi experiences. Really cool. Curse to Golf is also one of these, and Vampire Survivors, which is leading up right into the Vampire Survivors DLC, which comes out on Halloween. So you can download and try the full game of A Little to the Left, Curse to Golf, and Vampire Survivors at no cost. And as an additional bonus, you can save on digital versions of these. 40% off A Little to the Left, 75% off Curse to Golf, and 15% on Vampire Survivors. And y'all, Vampire Survivors is already super duper cheap. So if you're looking for a great one more run, quick game, Vampire Survivors, I highly recommend it. And a little to the left. Can't say anything about Curse to Golf because I've
Drew
not
is
played
given
it.
good marks for Cursed to
Yes.
Golf. So
Yeah.
if you like golf games, not
Isn't it?
necessarily, it's not a golf simulator. It is, if I remember correctly, it is one of those ones where you have to place the ball in a good play,
So
type of thing.
Tim, can I ask this? Is it is it the game that's kind of like 2D golf,
Yes.
like side scrolling golf? Yeah. So
Yes.
you can look, it's free if
Yeah, it's
you're
free to check
wondering
out.
about it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
75% off if you like it. So I mean, this is a good
Yeah.
little thing there for
It's
you.
arcadey, more arcadey type thing, So yeah,
Yeah, I think
not
it'll
your Tiger
be
Woods type thing.
definitely worth your time to check it out. And
Yes.
speaking of release,
I'm actually going to download Vampire Survivors now and give
oh,
that a try later.
I'm proud of you. I think you will like it. I think you'll like it.
And
It's
then,
it's
as I
wonderful.
said that, I heard a thunder, so hopefully we still
All right.
have a show.
Speaking of releases and updates, a couple things we want to remind you of. Out now, Banjo-Tooie is now out on the NSO Plus expansion pack app for Nintendo 64, so you definitely want to go and check that out. Also, the Jackbox Survey Scramble game launched today, which is a brand new type of Jackbox experience. Sonic X Shadow Generations will be out by the time you hear this. It's on Friday. Is that Ease 10 or is it Ease X?
10.
Ease 10 Nordics is out Friday.
It's a
Yakuza
Gary game. It's a Gary Gray game.
Yeah.
Nordics.
Yeah. Yakuza Kiwami is out now, as well as Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven, which has a demo available as well. If you too want to engage in political espionage and city building in feudal Japan, if that sounds like your jam, there you go. Also out soon, Vampire Survivors. We already mentioned this. The Ode to Castlevania DLC is out next week on Thursday, just in time for Halloween. Like I think it said a bunch of new levels, 40 music tracks, new characters, new weapons, all Castlevania stuff. I cannot wait for this.
Nice.
And then Mario and Luigi Brothership just around the corner on November 7th. And Donkey Kong Country Returns HD out on January 16th, 2025. We have a little bit of news, but we're going to other news, but we're going to save that until we discuss our rumors. So, with that being said, let's discuss. All right, I didn't forget the question of the week this week, so here it is.
Yay.
And we got a fantastic response. Nintendo turns to you to name its next console. Which name do you pick? You must justify your answer. Here's what our community said. Darth Platypus says the Nintendo Tanuki. It is a Japanese critter to start. Plus, it allegedly can transform into human form, as the system can transform from the docked to handheld.
And the sketches of the rumored new base has a wider bottom, which Tanukis have.
I see what you're getting at.
I'll stop there. But
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about if you know.
I want to bring this up right here. Little side note it's a worm in my brain, and if I don't say it, I won't be able to get it out. That Beast Wars Neo, which was a Beast Wars continuation in Japan that was only there, Beast Wars Transformers. They had a Tanuki transformer called Heinlad, who had a clock embedded in his stomach that could stop time.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Also had the exaggerated features as well.
I had that Transformer in my first set of Transformers. I had that one.
How did you get that one?
I got it at a convention.
There you go. The clock actually worked. Like it, you can put a battery in them, it would keep time.
Yep.
There you go.
I kept mine in the box, but yeah, it was pretty interesting.
I never had Heinlad, but that's I don't know if it's Heinlad or Heinrad, but there you go. Anyway, that's just how my mind works. We get to chase the squirrel.
Yeah, L's and R's in Japan. So yeah,
Yeah,
it could be
yeah.
probably could be either.
Most of the time I see it like typed out, it's LAD. So there you go. Zablanc says it depends on what it is, but if the next console was a souped up Switch with minor changes and all the backwards compatibility, then I'd go with just Nintendo Switch 2. It works for PlayStation, just keep it simple. Maybe there isn't a Switch 3, who knows? Then you could call that console something else. Nintendo and Xbox have competed for years for the title of worst console namer. Just number it. It's clear as day. Like that answer. Ninja Lunchbox 79 says Super Nintendo Switch. If it's just Switch version 2, the reason why is simple. What was after the NES? The SNES. It was better. A better souped up version of the NES. Plain and simple. Also, I really hope there are no gimmicks with this new console. I'm tired of the gimmicks. Nintendo. Mecha Dragon says, call it the new Nintendo Switch Pro Max Plus Plus Deluxe 2. Kidding. LOL, I mean, no harm in calling it the Switch Pro or Switch Max. Something to show that it is the same system but stronger. David Bylicka says Nintendo Switch Box, not the GameCube. It will take a form factor similar to the Game Boy SP. Clamshell design, just significantly bigger, and when folded closed, you can plop it on a dock for TV play, and it looks like a big box. Don't forget the handle on the back, Nintendo, and Labo cardboard tie-ins.
Nice.
Greg Gorzowski, haven't heard from him in a while. Here's what he says: the Nintendo Nexus. It's powerful, dedicated for the home console, and will be more powerful than PS5 Pro and allow you to play the same games on the go using a Switch-like device called the Nexus Mobile, just like I do with my PC and Stream Deck today. Hey, I could dream, can I?
Nice.
The Jiggy Collector says the Nintendo Genesis. Throw a little Sega in, and Sega does what Nintendo don't. A Sonic game debuts and sells 10 million copies. Quagmire says the Nintendo Switch U. It worked out so well for them last time.
It almost sounds like you're swearing. Switch you.
There's your show title. Victorious GX says Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo. Side note, with both Ease 10 Nordics and Sonic X Shadow Generations dropping tomorrow, I won't be coming out of my apartment all weekend. See you guys Monday, I guess.
At least he's able to stop by in the show, at least.
Yeah. In the chat, we see Super Switch. It's a more powerful Switch, like Super NES to NES. There's call it Switch with two eyes, like Kathy.
The Switch.
The Switch. Nintendo Switch. Oh, that's so bad. It almost works. They just get Charles Martinet.
That's been an NVC joke for like a year now.
Nintendo Switch. Oh, that's oh. Please don't call it the Switch. What would you guys? What about you? What would you name it?
I've been on the Super Switch train for ever since we started talking about this a long time ago. So I always liked that idea, just to kind of being a little nostalgic, calling back for the same things that was mentioned before. Just there was the NES, then there was the SNES. There's the Switch, then there's the Super Switch. Plain and simple. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I never liked a Super Switch just because that's a likely candidate. Obviously, Switch 2 is also a likely candidate, but Nintendo has never used a number in their console with the meaning of a sequential. But
there's a first time for everything, though.
Yeah, there is a first time for everything. But I do kind of like Switch Max. I kind of like that. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say the two likely candidates are Switch 2 or Super Switch.
I think that what we're hitting on, though, is kind of super important, that it does need to be simple, but it needs to be clear. Whatever
Unlike
it is has to be clear. The Wii U was not clear enough. They thought it was, but it wasn't. So, and 14 million lifetime console sales show that.
Ms. says nobody said New Switch. I actually thought of New Switch before we recorded, but I didn't want to go there because I don't want that to happen.
I don't know if we can say this one, but Nimfriendo, I love you. He says Mighty Number 2, switch with a dumper.
Now we've
You know
Nintendo
what? Here's the
doesn't
deal.
Nintendo doesn't like dumpers. We've been there before.
Listen. I don't know if this is a necessary detail, but I record this at my desk in my bedroom, and I just had to read that line out in front of my wife, who's laying in bed over here.
Getting everything out of context.
Yeah. So she said she wasn't paying attention, but I've said the phrase "switch with a dumper" in front of my wife now. So thanks.
That's so you can play the Switch at the toilet. That's all.
Well, that's already, you can already do that. That's the number one feature.
You get a special dumper.
It's a number one feature. No, it's a dump truck. It's a Switch with a dump truck toy attached, right? My point being, again, back to this before we got distracted by dumpers. It has to be simple. It has to be something that very simply says, this is new. This is more, this is what you want. This is better. This is more powerful. You need to upgrade. So to that end, I love this. I will agree with Zablanc that I like the simplicity of a number. It works for PlayStation. That's great. But I think that it can't just be a number. I think it has to be some modifying word. Super, max, ultra, whatever, there has to be something there. And I think that, when back in the early 90s, when they went from Nintendo Entertainment to Super Nintendo Entertainment System, that told a very clear, very simple story, right? This is a new Nintendo. It is super. It is souped up over the old one. So if we're going to use words like that compare, in today, it needs to be the skibbity switch.
No.
Right? All the Gen Z kids will know exactly what it means.
This would be a perfect time for lightning to come down and strike the show.
Right? and all the Gen Gers are excited, but all the Gen Xers are like, oh no.
Switch Riz.
Old. Yeah, there it is. Switch Riz. It's done. Anyway, let's move on before this gets
the cap.
Yeah. Oh, just getting worse. Let's talk about some rumors, shall we?
I haven't used that button in a while.
I know, you had to look for it. So, guys, the rumor is that Nintendo is courting third-party developers to make some remasters while they are busy with Switch 2. Insider information apparently is that games that are planned for being remastered on the Switch include Splinter Cell Blacklist and Driver 1 and 2. Website PH Brazil also mentioned Rayman 3, but they say that they're not sure if that is related to the Rayman rumors that are also circulating around right now.
I wouldn't trust Ubisoft to even exist in a month, much less them remaking anything.
Right. Yeah. Listen, they've got some serious issues going on over there.
I think, though, there's something to be said for companies taking a step back and saying, oh, you know what, we're not going to do anything new right now, but we have our back catalog we can rely on. If we look at Konami, they've kind of done that, right? They took a longer step back, but they stepped away from games, and then they decided to come back slowly with some of these remasters and things, and the attempt at a few new games.
I would not be mad at a Rayman remaster. I think that there's been significant time. I mean, most people's what was the Rayman game that was on Wii U that was a big deal? Was it Rayman Legends?
Sounds right.
That and Rabbids are most people's exposure.
Switch, though, didn't we?
We did, but what I'm saying is that and Rabbids are most people's exposure to Rayman at this point. So you have Rayman 1, 2, and 3 that have never or a lot of people have never played. You remake that with the Legends engine and you spruce it up, make it look good. I would definitely play that. The good news, Tim, is that EA apparently has some Wii games coming to Switch, and
I would take the Wii Madden game they had. I would take that
yeah.
as long as they worked on it.
What about I'm going back and looking for some of the games that they had on the Wii, and the catalog there was I mean, it's pretty extensive. They were fairly supportive of the Wii. The
Yeah.
Godfather Black Hand Edition, Madden NFL 07, Need for Speed Carbon, Tiger Woods PGA Tour, Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix, Medal of Honor, several of those. My Sims, The Sims 2, Need for Speed.
We've been wanting Sims games or speculating that them
I'm
bring
just looking at
Sims
it for
games.
for the racing games. I know you're a huge
Oh, the
fan
Need
of
for
racing
Speed
games.
stuff was, yeah. But my favorite was on the Wii U, actually, the most wanted game they brought out there. The dual screen stuff was awesome
I
on
didn't
that.
realize that they brought the Sims 3 to Switch. I mean to Wii. I have always thought that a Sims game on the Switch was a no-brainer. Would love to see them do something like that, but I don't know how much they would support it.
Yep.
But Bandai Namco apparently also has something in the works. Although it is mentioned that they just have a PS3 game being remastered. But the rumor is apparently they have something else, but nobody really knows what it is.
Ridge Racer.
That would not be a bad.
We haven't seen that in a long time.
My son and I were talking to about
There's
this.
a reason for that.
His hope was it was a Tekken game on the Switch. And I was like, yeah, the last time they tried Tekken, it on the Wii U, it didn't really go over well.
Well, maybe they'll bring out the last Tekken game that they brought out for the PS4, or was it PS5? I don't remember. They brought out a new Tekken game. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work on the new Switch. But
yeah.
But if they're talking remasters, maybe they'll do a collection.
I would really like you talked about Konami. I would love to see some of their older SNES games or even NES games remade and remastered for new consoles, like Gradius 3, Super Castlevania 4, any of the Castlevania games.
Yeah. Tekken 8 came out earlier this year to consoles.
Remade. Yeah, that would be interesting if they went kind of the Atari route, where how Atari has been doing their Recharged or whatever line. So that'd be interesting if Konami or anybody like that would do that.
They did do two really excellent collections with the Contra collection and the Castlevania collection.
Yep.
The only problem with those is they didn't include a rewind option, which would have been
Yeah, they did. Well, at least when I was messing around with the advanced one, or not the advanced one, the recent one with the DS games on it, I could have swore there was a rewind on it.
Maybe there is in that one, but I don't think that Castlevania collection has rewind.
Okay. I'm going to have to go look while you're talking.
Yeah.
Quick side, when you mentioned the Atari Recharge stuff.
The advanced collection does. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay.
So I guess the advanced and the DS collection do, but the original one does not.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, they now have recharge bundles with like a bunch of recharge games you can buy at once.
Yeah, I saw that.
Humble Bundle's got one where you can get that and the Atari 50 game for like $20.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I don't know what it costs in the eShop, but there's an eShop bundle. You buy that one item.
It was
and you get like 5 games.
It was like $59.99.
Nice.
Yeah, so
that is a good collection. $60. I had a lot of fun with a lot of those recharge games and the Atari 50 game. So it's a great collection.
It would not surprise me to see them do this to pad out what's left of the Switch's life cycle until like we get a few remasters that people might really want until Switch 2 gets announced. Even after Switch 2 gets announced, that the tail of the Switch, as new people or people are moving over to the new system, they can say, oh look, it's still got life in it. You're getting Driver 2.
Yeah, and all these games will carry over if supposedly if everything is backwards compatible like we think it is. It's when you get your
Sure.
Switch 2, you'll be able to play all these collections on there.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely. Well, those are our rumors. Let's talk about what we've been playing. Jesse, we're going to let you go first
We're just
because,
speed running this episode.
yeah, well, there's just this week's been kind of quiet.
It has.
We'll let you go first because a lot of what Tim and I have been playing overlaps, and that'll give us a chance to just kind of free will about that. So, what you been
back and
playing?
forth.
So I mentioned last week that I was playing PICROSS Records of the Shield Hero, and I estimated I would be complete with it before the next show. I did finish it this afternoon. It was like 32 and a half hours total to do all the puzzles. So now I'm ready for the next Picross game. But something I saw in a Reddit post, it was like an electronic breadboard simulator. So I'm like, okay, that looks kind of cool. How much does that cost? I looked at it. It's on sale on Steam this week for $6. So it's called CRUMB Circuit Simulator. I don't know if CRUMB is an anagram for something, but yeah, I downloaded it and played a little bit with it. I still have to figure out how to use the UI, but yeah, you just put components on a virtual breadboard and hoping it does what you want it to do, just like in real life. You just don't have to pay for the cost of components. So I'll be playing with that. I'm gonna see if I can reproduce some of my lab work on like the 555 timer circuit for that 6502 computer I was working on a few years ago as practice to using it. So that's just something I'll probably be playing with off and on, throughout forever.
Cool.
So yeah, that's all I've been playing. I do have the Slay the Princess on deck. I probably will do a live stream tomorrow night, maybe. If
Cool.
not, Saturday night.
Awesome. Tim, what you been playing?
So I've been playing and rolled credits on The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. So I beat that. Spent, I think it said last time I looked, it was over 40 hours. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was 50 hours that I spent in that game. Fantastic game. Will be in my
Yes.
discussions for Game of the Year.
Yes.
Um,
Can we just sit just for a minute and talk about how that was one of the best final boss fights in a Zelda game ever?
it was a very good one, and it was like it. Sometimes boss fights can irritate me when it does the whole like, oh, I'm not dead yet thing,
Mhm.
But they did it very well in this case.
Yes.
So, and I like how they did it, and it was what I found interesting too was, well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Mhm.
It's just the overall how it looked. Something about how it looked reminded me of things that you see in, say, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, and I was like, I wonder if there's a connection there. The other thing I thought interesting was that it's called Null, the bad guy. And isn't that a Marvel thing too?
Yeah, the
It
king,
is.
the like
Yeah,
the
King
the
in
god
Black.
of the venoms
Yeah,
is Null.
Yeah.
but
That's what it
that's
was.
spelled with a that's spelled with a K.
With a K. Okay.
N-U-L. But I'm assuming it means the same thing. It's supposed to be
Okay.
nothing. Nothing is threatening, right?
Right.
Right.
I am just like any other fan, love to know if there's any connections throughout the history of The Legend of Zelda to these things. Obviously each game is 100 years apart from each other, but like, is this going to fit in the timeline anywhere? Does it connect to anything? Like, one of the things I thought of was the rifts. Does it connect to the other world type stuff? And
Ooh.
the
Yeah,
connections
like the Link
there.
Between Worlds.
Yes. Like, is that how it started? Because it was created from this kind of thing, so
I'm really okay if no Zelda games connect to the timeline anymore.
yeah, I'm okay with that too, but it's still fun to speculate
Yeah, I
and,
get it. I like to think of Link to the Past, like, or not Link to the Past, Link's Awakening being its own branch of the timeline, and that this is the kingdom that Link was sailing from when he was, shipwrecked in Awakening.
oh yeah, yeah.
And so this is its own story. This is its own branch, and they can go here just like they did with Link's Awakening when they tried new things.
Yeah.
That this is the Zelda. This is the weirdo section of this is the bizarro
This
Zelda.
is the
Like they can
Bizarro
try new
world.
things, like and then Link can go side scrolling. He can stomp on Goombas and fight piranha plants, and Zelda can be a hero who
Yeah.
can transform into a sword fighter. And there's no such thing as Ganon
Yep.
because I don't, you know, not it's not that from finishing the game. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
we just
Well, it was
said you
kind of
talked about
revealed halfway through. I got that
you
far.
talked about Noel being the final boss. I mean, it's not Ganondorf, which is kind of refreshing, right? I
Mhm.
mean, like because Ganondorf has become like Ganondorf kind of became like he was like the bad guy, but then like I feel like he really started taking on a life of his own around Ocarina of Time, and then they've really beefed up
Yeah.
his role.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not really. Again, I didn't finish it, so I'm just kind of going on speculation. If this is like the origin of what the Triforce of Wisdom is, obviously, Ganon was born out of the Triforce. So if there's no Triforce, there's no Ganon.
Right. Well, but there's a Ganondorf beforehand.
There's still a
That's what I'm saying.
Ganondorf,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
there's no
but that's what I'm
Ganon.
saying. Is like there's no even Ganondorf in this, so that's
Okay.
that's a good thing to me.
Well,
Um,
there's the beginning that we all see with the pig version of whatever that is.
yeah,
Yeah, but then midway through you find out kind of what it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it
Jesse,
had to
I
be
wouldn't.
copied from somewhere.
That's true. I would encourage you if you are not gonna like physically finish the game, go watch the end just so you can check it out, so you can get the story beats and stuff because it is actually I thought it was pretty
Yeah.
good. This
But
is the
my
most
plan is
besides.
when I have a blank period of nothing else to play, I'll probably walk through the parts I'm stuck on just to get rolling again.
Yeah.
And I do want to finish it because I've heard everyone says it's great. It has nothing but great things to say about
The
it.
the thing about it
But
is that
I haven't yet spoiled myself. Other than
okay, gotcha.
I knew the name, so Jim didn't reveal that to me. But
Did, notwithstanding the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, this is like the most story based Zelda game besides those two, and that's
yeah,
why I think
I've
it's
heard.
special. So, and
Well,
it
and then
was
you're
just a
playing as
nice little
Zelda
wrap up.
too. So
Yeah.
Which is also telling in that this had no Miyamoto involvement, and
yeah.
this is the one that has the most story.
But there's still a lot to do as far as mechanic wise. I thought it was a refreshing way to play Zelda to where you could still be a Link type character with the sword piece, but be able to do wizardry with Zelda with the staff piece, so
Hmm.
with the echoes and all that, and then combine the two to be able to, do some pretty cool things.
When
And
I really,
that's how I felt I was able to get away with a lot of the
hmm
boss fights was just being
what
able to, whip up
when I
something with the wand and then fight with the sword. I made that sword OP. That was my focus with those
Yep,
those
yeah, yeah.
those
What
things.
I really would hope, and I think I said this a couple weeks ago, maybe even last week, I hope that they will take that transformation element, like where she, was able to transform into the sword fighter. I would love to see other transformations in a sequel to this. I would play a million more of these games because it was so
Like
inventive.
the Majora's Mask of Zelda.
Yeah, kind of like if you could turn into a Sheikah That would be great, or you could do like a like if there was like if they want to get into the whole like tribes things, like well, you have a sword fighter form, a Zora form, a Rito form, a Gerudo
I'm a
form.
little scared. I'm a little scared now because of Tears of the Kingdom. Like Breath of the Wild was awesome. Tears of the Kingdom has the potential of being awesome, but it seems like they tacked on so much to that game to where it's like it turned me off for the most
It's
part. I'm probably gonna
overwhelming.
do, yeah, I might do what Jesse did and like eventually one day go back to it and actually play it. But it was just too much, and I would almost have preferred that they came out with a DLC for Breath of the Wild than a whole other game that was way too
Yeah.
much. But and that's where I'm a little scared with this. It's like I love it. I would love it if they came out with a DLC where I could play like another area that's off the map or something, or that somehow they figure it out. But I doubt it.
Yeah, I think I
But
ended
if
up
it's
with
a second game, I'd be
175
scared.
hours in Tears, and I
Okay.
didn't even finish all the side quests.
Yeah, there's so
Well,
much. It's just because there's 3 layers in it, and it's just as opposed to the 1 layer in Breath of the Wild.
I finally went and watched the final hours or the final hour or hour, two
Oh,
hours of Tears.
Yeah.
And man, I would like to play that one day. The guy who was watching was just he only had like one line of hearts. I mean, he maybe had 20, if that, and he was incredible at the game. And there's no way I could have done what he did.
yeah,
It was
Yeah,
very obvious.
you
when
got
you
to be
know
good
how
at
to do
dodging.
Well, it was
yeah, the
yeah,
parrying and all that stuff.
it
Yeah.
was very obvious that he, like, especially in the route to the final battle, that he knew exactly where he was going. He knew the timing to get there. He knew the
Mhm.
timing to fight the enemies at, how to avoid them. I would have never, I'd died so many times down through there. But man, what an epic final boss fight that was.
It
So
was.
I'm counting that I finished Tears of the Kingdom this week, and you can't stop me because I did. Finished it. Just finished it on the Nintendo YouTube system.
I finished it too. Woo.
Yeah. Woo. Go us.
Yeah, it was a great ending, like you said, Jesse.
The YTS.
And
Yeah.
I imagine that it means more when you actually play it, more
Oh,
rewarding.
I'm sure.
But definitely it is. Tears of the Kingdom had a great ending to it.
Hmm.
Especially when you start that Ganondorf fight and what the game does to it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I saw that and
Mm.
went, oh, that's rude. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, excuse me, Echoes of Wisdom, fantastic game. My size, even though it was 50 hours for me, it was still, it didn't feel like 50 hours. It didn't feel like when I was getting at the end, like it needed to end. I didn't have that feeling. Kind of like with Heist 2, when I had that, it was like I was trying to finish that and it was like, oh my gosh, just end already.
Kind of like what I
But
said about
yeah,
Yars.
yeah. But yeah,
Hmm.
Echoes of Wisdom, just the pace of everything felt good. There were a couple frustrating puzzles, probably the same ones that I ran into that Jesse ran into, especially in the um icy areas. But
Yeah. And,
I got through
you know,
it.
you know, like even MVC, when they did their spoiler cast, even they said that there was frustration points, but, they, all kept fighting through it, where I said, my brain can't handle this right now.
I think for me it helped a lot more that I did it last and had a lot more echoes that could help me along the way.
See, it wasn't combat that's the problem. It was some of the
No, it wasn't
environmental
combat either.
puzzles.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Okay.
wasn't combat that I'm talking about, but I think it was just the ability to, I don't know, just maybe more experience along the way with dealing with the other areas first and then coming here, that I was able to get through those puzzles. Not
Yeah.
easily, but I was able to get through it and understood. Maybe just from osmosis from hearing you complain about it, I was like, oh, this must be what
Yeah.
Jesse was frustrated with.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like 2 or 3 screens away from the boss key.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I highly recommend you go back to it.
Sounds like he will.
Friendo says he beat other areas and then came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, Jesse, you got to that area first before I started getting to the three goddesses. And when you complained about that area, I was like, I'm not going there first. That's why I didn't go that way.
That's smart.
So, but I really enjoyed it. It is, I don't know. It's just something. Maybe it's just because of grew up on the 2D Zeldas. That's why I like it more. But it was fantastic. It'll be.
Yeah.
I'm glad there will be a little time before we get to Game of the Year to talk about it because it'll get to sit more. But right now, as it stands, it's probably number 4 on my all-time Zelda list of
Wow.
games.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. Again, it'll have to take some time to sit and all that fun stuff. So again, Echoes of Wisdom was fantastic. Next game I played, Hatch Tales, a heroic hookshot adventure. I played it early on once we got the code from the Kickstarter. In fact, we have a first look up that went up at the beginning of the week. And Atui even gave us a heart on it. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
For that.
I've been putting a
First
lot
look
of
at
time into this as well.
Yeah. You probably got a lot more in it than I do. I haven't finished the first world yet, but I was focusing on Echoes of Wisdom, but I did jump back into it a little bit.
I've been able to finish Echoes of Wisdom up by the time I got my code, or
Yeah.
finished it
You
up
were
pretty
done
soon
sooner.
after.
Yeah.
I have finished World 2 of the actual Hatch Tales game.
Nice.
But I have spent a way more significant amount of time in the unlockable Chicken Wiggle
Oh, you
version.
jumped in there? Okay.
And I have gone through all 8 levels, gotten all the collectibles in all 8 levels,
Wow. Okay.
and finished that part completely. And can confidently say I had a fun time with it.
Okay.
You get nothing for finishing it. You don't even get an ending. There's not
Okay.
even a congratulations or a thank you. It just takes you back to the level select, and
Yeah.
there you go. So now I've jumped back into the Hatch Tales part of it
Okay.
and have playing that. Here's the thing. We've dogged this game a lot, right? I mean, lots of people have
We didn't
dogged.
dog the game.
We didn't dog
We
the game.
didn't.
We dogged the delay.
We
The
dogged
development
and-
process.
the development process
And
and
let
the
me
Kickstarter
say this:
process.
when I was saying the game, I meant just the whole rigmarole around
Yes.
7 years
Yep.
in
I mentioned
limbo.
that in my video at the very beginning about
Yeah,
that too.
and so that, putting that to the side, it's a really fun game. It's really well made. The art, the graphics are just clean and great. There's 25-ish pages of user created levels that you can already access. Some of which are styled like, from they're remakes of old video game stages, and there's challenges and all kinds of stuff. But just the fact that the Chicken Wiggle game, that everybody, that's what they wanted. It's in there. You can play it with the 3DS art style and music if you want to as well. Uh, it kind of, and it won me over.
Yes.
Okay, it won me over when I finally played it. I was like, okay, now do I think that it would have taken 7 years? Do I think that was necessary? No, I don't. But we also wouldn't have gotten Hatch Tales if it had been. It would have just been Chicken Wiggle Workshop, right?
Yeah, if
We
it was
wouldn't have
just
got.
the remaster, what do they call it? Or porting. If it was just a port with little tweaks here and there,
It
then
would
yeah, we
it would
would
have
have.
been called Hatch Tales because they
Yeah.
changed the name. So I'm enjoying it for what it is. Like, it's very old school, right?
Mhm.
But it's
Very
good.
clean
Like,
though. Yeah, it's very
yeah, it's
clean.
very good, and control is tight. The soundtrack is really good as well. The remastered soundtrack.
Well, we paid for it, so
I know, but it's good, and
better be good. No,
it's
yeah.
finally
No, he
good
did
to
a good.
have it in
Yeah.
hand. Kudos to Jules for finally delivering on it.
Yep.
Um,
Good job
I
from Jules for doing that. Also for
Yeah,
finding the composer that he got for writing
yeah.
that music.
So it's out now. We're talking about it because the, I guess, the embargo or whatever has passed. They wanted that to go past the 21st, but it is out now on Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
Or I mean on the eShop, and you can pick that up there if you would
Yep.
like that.
And don't forget also too, because it sounds like neither of us have messed around with this yet, but there's also the creative side where people have been creating their own hatch tail levels
Yeah,
and sharing it in the game that you can play. I haven't gotten there yet because I wanted to play
it
the.
is. I was gonna just name the price. It's $20 on the eShop,
Mhm.
and it's a ton of content
Yeah,
for what you get. And you just kind of like you got to kind of get your mind into the collectible part of it, like
yeah,
because there are some pretty like well designed, and that's one thing I wanted to give him props for is delay aside the level design on the game is and the
hmm
game itself, both on the Chicken Wiggle side and the Hatchtail side, is
yeah. There's some
really
puzzles,
stinking good,
kind of puzzle
really stinking
figuring
good.
out to it. Yeah, for sure.
So I know there's a lot of people who are very turned off because of the delay and the behavior and all that during that. But I if you got a code sitting in your email box because
hmm
you backed it back then and it's just sour grapes that's keeping you from trying it, I recommend you squash the grapes and give it a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Yes. So yeah, again, Hatch Tales, a heroic hookshot adventure is what we talked about. And then last but not least for me, and what Marty will start with here probably is Super Mario Party Jamboree, where
Yeah,
we got together on Friday, uh, and it or set was it Saturday? It was
it was
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. Everybody we got together in Discord and played online together, and it was we actually have a video of that up, played for a
Yep.
few hours, and it was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
in fact, it's on our Patreon page, which those updates, the weekly updates, are free for everybody. You don't have to be a Patreon member, so you can go check that out at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. There's links to all of our YouTube videos, and the one of Super Mario Party Jamboree is on there. Guys, I love this game.
Mhm.
It's so well done. The games are so much fun. The ability, there's so much I could say about it, like the ability to play a game and turn off all the motion control games if you don't want to play that way.
Yeah,
Graphical effects, the sound, the multiplayer. Uh, it's it. It is there. The multiplayer. You can play Mario Party online against people.
got
Like you can play on
yeah,
the
we
boards
got
with
local
four
and
people.
online. Yeah,
The 8 player is a little more limited, but it's also fun as well. I mean, you get to play mini games.
we had a blast with that.
Yeah, so we did the Coupathlon, which is the race around the board um, with coins. Like when you get coins in the games, it makes you move spots. Um, and you play a series of three mini games, and then you have Bowser, like a Bowser round, where you have to survive to the end, or you get pushed back. And those three games, they actually like the levels of those pump up each time. So like you start at level 1, then you go to level 2, then you go to level 3. That's pretty fun. Um, I would really like the only disappointment I have for that is there's only one race map, and I would like to see there be some extra locales or maybe some, you know, hazards or something like, oh, you
Right?
got
Yeah,
enough coins, but you landed on the poop space, so now you got to go back 5, or whatever.
yeah,
Just some stuff like that. But the Bowser Kaboom battle, so much fun.
yeah.
Um, so for those of you who aren't familiar, you're dropped in like a map that looks like a miniaturized city, and you and everyone else is running around as your character trying to break open boxes to get bombs to drop in a cannon that when you get enough bombs in the cannon, it shoots off and it hits Bowser and it takes part of his, or I'm sorry, it hits Imposter Bowser and takes
Monster
part of his
Bowser.
life bar away. And you have 5 rounds to beat him. And between the rounds, everyone has to play a mini game that determines whether or what kind of items that you have access to in the next round. So if you get S rank in that game, you have access to all the different types of items, which can be anything from banana peels you throw down in front of Bowser to make him fall, to hearts, to hammers that help you break open the boxes, to like the dash pads from Mario 3D World. that will let you get back to
Yep.
the cannon faster. We played several rounds of that. We played easy, and we also bumped up the difficulty to normal. Had an absolute blast. It's very. We played on Discord, so no native voice chat in the game. In fact, I don't even think voice chat is supported on the Nintendo
No.
Switch app either. So we all joined up on Discord on a voice chat channel, and it was very easy to talk and plan strategy. And over here you can call people, like when you find a box full of bombs, you can press a button and it'll call out on the screen, bombs, bombs, bombs over here, and people can start running. But
Or if you got knocked out by
yes,
Bowser,
I was
some
going
you
to
can
say
get
that's
saved.
the other wrinkle is that Imposter Bowser is roaming the city, and occasionally he will lock onto you and he will chase you down.
Mhm.
And you can either like just you can avoid him, you can keep doing what you're doing, or you can like you get hit by him and you can even get defeated and you're in a bubble and somebody has to pop in and get you out.
Yep.
And so super cool. I would do that again. I would love to do some more about of both of those modes with our community. I'd also love, to do some Mario Party, just the
Yeah.
regular games online. And the good thing that we can report is the online mode works extremely well. We didn't have
Yeah.
any
We
connection
didn't have any problems.
problems. There were 8 of us in the game. And of course, yeah, we were all chatting via Discord, but the game was handling everything going on, which if you think Mario Party, fast paced games, right? All of that was
Mhm.
going on together and it handled it, did a great job. It's a ton of fun. Would do the Coupathlon again,
Yes.
all that.
And after a few people left, we did play a Mario Party board. Uh,
Did it
and that
handle
was
it pretty
fun.
well?
Yeah, and I handled it just fine. It was a lot of fun.
Great.
I think we did the racetrack board.
That
Um,
one is my favorite so far.
that is a lot of fun. And then the following day, I got my family to play locally, and that was a lot of fun. We did the train track board,
Hmm.
so which was a lot of fun. And my family just we actually didn't fight. There was no fight, so that was good. But it was
That's
still
a
a lot of
success.
yeah. It was
Several
still
times
very
when we played it with my kids, my wife was threatening them. I will never like these words literally came out of her mouth at one time. I will never play Mario Party again if you don't stop complaining. And I looked at them and I said, "You
right.
stop. Stop right now
Yeah.
because I want your mother to play video games."
Yep. What was really cool about it though, for me personally, because my family, my kids especially, because they're all teenagers, all older, they don't usually play
Mhm.
Nintendo games with me anymore. But I asked them, I said, please play the new Mario Party with me this weekend. And they did. They all got together, helped me play out
That's awesome.
around a board, and we all had a good time.
Yeah.
So
I would love to play some more this weekend. I did unlock the Western.
yeah, that's the
Yeah, I
train
did
one.
unlock that one.
Yep.
I haven't unlocked the last one yet.
I haven't yet either. Oh yeah,
But
I was gonna say the other fun part about it too is there is some single player elements. I haven't done a lot of it yet, but just
me
you
either.
know, just to one of the things that you could do is go to the plaza and go to the I forget his name, but you help him do the planning of some of these things, and you actually go play some of the mini games on
Yeah,
your own.
KMEX party
Yes,
planning.
thanks. Yeah. So you have to go to the boards and run around the board and talk to some of the toads to help them deal with an issue. And to deal with the issue, you got to play a mini game. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then you earn some you earn some points and all that kind of stuff to be able to customize your plaza. And then also too, if you go up in the balloon, you can go find these extra things that are around the islands and around when you're looking around in binoculars. If you capture things, you get depending on the rarity of that picture, you get some sort of currency to also use to purchase things for your plaza.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
there's still a lot to do in there. They put a lot of stuff in there, and
Yeah.
I haven't even touched some of those things that are in there yet.
It
So
does kind of feel like maybe there will be some DLC to this game just because of the way you can look around.
yeah,
Like there's parts of it that don't feel very developed,
unless
whereas
it's
everything else
unlocked.
is. Yeah, yeah. Whereas everything else, like for the Mario Party mode, everything's clustered there together, and then there's a big gap before you get to the online stuff. So I hope that
Yeah,
we'll see some things kind of materialize there or whatever. Well,
sure.
that's what Tim's been playing. I've got one final game I've been playing that no one else has, and that is the Jackbox Survey Scramble that just came out today, and we were able to get that and do some playtime with it very briefly this afternoon. What it is it's not a new Jackbox Party Pack. It's a standalone game where all of the answers are determined online from surveys, and you're trying to earn points based on your answers, whether they match up with what's on those surveys or not. There's 4 game modes. We played 3 of them. The first one is called High Low, and basically what it is you pick from one of 3 categories, and you then name things that are on a list in those categories. And the first part of the round, you're wanting to get the highest or to name high things like higher on the list. And so, like one of our picks was at Home Depot. So it was like things that you could buy at a big box hardware store. And there was like 200 items on that list. And
Wow.
so in the first part of the line or first part of the round, you were going high. In the second part of the round, you were aiming low. What are things that you don't think many people said? And then to finish out each round, can you name the highest and can you name the lowest? And whoever got lowest or highest got extra bonus points. So there's one winner of that game. The second one we played was called Bounce, and it was like a breakout style game where you have a paddle at the bottom of the screen, and there's this square that's bouncing up and hitting the top, and your paddle moves back and forth from most popular to least popular answers for that category. So, but the interesting thing about this is you play it in teams, and you can constantly type in words for that you think fit the answers to that category, and then your partner can play your suggestions. So they can either type in their own word, or they say, well, your suggestions are crap, or they can use your suggestion, and and words can be used multiple times, but the ball gets faster and faster. So you're playing like breakout in real time with this ball by suggesting words that fit this
Wow.
category, and you play to 5 points. The second one or the third game is called Squares, and you have a 3x3 grid of 9 squares. And what you're doing is you're guessing popular choices for the category. So, like, say you got the category our category was things on the front of a history book. And so it's literally tic-tac-toe with the answers. So again, you're playing in teams, so you're trying to lock out the other people from being able to make a 3 in a row. You kind of just have to see it. And then the last one that we played, I guess we did play all 4. I didn't realize this. The last one we played is called Speed. And again, you pick the category and you just try to guess as many answers on the list as possible. And as long as you keep guessing real things like they're actually on the list, you keep getting points, but you also keep getting time added to your time. So the time's going down pretty quickly, but as long as you're able to keep doing things on the list, your time is, it's going back up or coming back down. And then
Makes sense.
they rank your answers based on where they are on that list, and you get points based on that too. Needless to say, we all 4 played it. My wife absolutely destroyed us in this game, all the games, because she just is a word person. She's a trivia person, so she was just able to. I mean, there was a good 10,000 points between her and me, and we were first
Oh,
and
wow.
second place. So, do I recommend this game? Absolutely. It's a breath of fresh air for Jackbox. I can see why They released this by itself, and here's the good thing: it's $10. So it's not like 35 like the rest of the party packs. And by them doing this and also doing the like naughty pack, which has some reduxes from past packs, this gives them a chance to take a breath and take a year and come up with some really good games for Jackbox Party Pack 11, if that ever happens. I feel like they'd gotten this rhythm of we got to put out a party pack every year, and you'd have one or two games in each one, and then three stinkers or four stinkers. And so this gives them some time to really play test and try something new, but it also gives us something new to play. And I really feel like because it's connected to the internet, these answers are changing. Like they're going to add more surveys. It's going to be kind of evergreen for a while. So I think that's the idea. So $10 for $10, something that anybody can play and understand, via at a party. I love this game. I think if you like,
I'm gonna miss this,
like
but did you?
Jackbox stuff, then go
I'm
ahead.
gonna miss this. Did you say that other people can play like the same way with their phones or something too?
So you use your phone to input everything.
Okay.
So I would say, I mean, it's a Jackbox.tv sign in like anything else.
Perfect.
So you can do this with your computer. You could do this with an iPad, laptop.
And how many people can play at once?
So the 2 to 10 players.
2 to 10. And is there audience too that can participate?
Audience capacity is 10,000.
Sweet. All right. Cool.
So I'm probably going to stream this at some point in the near future for our community. I'll balance out with Jesse's stream as well, because I would love to play this and with people, because I really enjoyed it.
I picked this up and looking forward to giving it a try.
I just downloaded it too. So I'm still trying to figure out the logistics of it. But if I am going to do something for Extra Life, I might throw that in there too.
Yep. Good deal. That's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight.
So as usual, we like to put the spotlight on our community and thank everybody for popping in and while we're recording this, doing the live chats, and also to thank everybody in our community in general. So thank you, everybody. As we mentioned at the top of the hour, Marty mentioned, our Patreon and all the community there, but overall, our community in general, everybody who's come into our Discord somehow, some way, one way or another, or even on the other channels we're in, that you can communicate with us. We love the community, love hearing from you. So please don't forget to, talk to us, talk to your community with the other people that are there. Love to hear about your life, whether your dad, mom, aunt, uncle, your way of sharing your love of video games with kids in your life, let's say. We love hearing those stories. So keep them coming. And again, thanks to everybody who popped in, like Mecha Dragon and Friendo, Victaris. We got people on YouTube, Michael Berget, people on Facebook and X. So wherever we're playing this, the live stream and stuff, look, and if you want to come and join us, we'd love to see you while we're recording this. Make sure you like and subscribe, like we always say. So, and that includes anywhere like Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all those places where we'll put a notification that we're going live. You can get that notification there. And also anytime we go live with any Let's Plays or first looks or drop a video, you'll be notified of those things as well. Or even like when we did this past Saturday's Saturday Night NSO, which is not just NSO games, but being able to play online, you have to have NSO. So we got to do the online stuff with Jamboree. So if you want to play along, again, you got to get those notifications. So speaking of other things going on, we got the Halloween Mayhem still going on till the end of the month, or November 4th. You can win prizes there by just submitting some fun Halloween things, photos, videos, reviews, or more for a chance for a surprise or a prize of either $15, $10, or $10 eShop cards. And then also we have a PlayStation Mayhem going on for Astrobot. So every week it looks like there's something going on. So if you're into PlayStation and playing Astrobot, then you can participate in that. And John's been doing a great job getting everybody involved and people noticing, hey, there's a PlayStation thing there going on. So some cool stuff there going on in our community. And again, come join us there if you are interested. With that being said, we have a voicemail from Christian that we weren't able to play last week. So let's jump into that first.
Hey, Nintendo Dads, it's me, Christian. I just wanted to tell you thank you because I finally finished Vampire Survivors. I completed it 100%, and Marty, you have suggested this game. I think I spent about 300 hours on this game, which is entirely too long, I feel like, for a $10 game. But you want to know something? It was worth it. I found all of the characters. I got all the upgrades, and it's amazing. I play that game so much that even with all the weapons, I'll glitch the Switch out because there's so much happening. So it's really fun. My nephews, nieces, my daughters, we all love Vampire Survivor, so thank you for the suggestion. Now I can finally go and play Echoes of Wisdom. Please don't suggest any more addicting games. Please don't. I can't handle it anymore. Happy Halloween, guys. I hope you're having a great day. Talk to you later.
He's not done with that game yet, especially with
Happy
that DLC
Halloween.
coming up.
There's DLC now. More hours.
You're going to be jumping back into that one. But wow, I didn't know you could finish that game.
I didn't either. I thought it was now. I mean, there is level progression.
Okay.
And I've done several of those, like getting the like little check mark on the levels.
Yeah.
But man, I kind of like hit a limit. Like I get it. I see the You've played it, right, Tim?
Yeah, oh yeah. That's a great game.
So the character I use is the guy with the garlic. That like
I haven't played it long enough to unlock too many characters.
So it's an old man who has garlic. The garlic item gives you an aura around you that creates damage.
Okay.
So if you level up the garlic, he just has like this shield around him that it just destroys enemies. But you have to get other stuff too.
It was an old Wario.
Yeah. It's his name is literally no, it's not Wario. That would be Mario Survivors.
That'd be funny.
Nintendo. Telling you.
That's the next
that's
99 game.
Listen, 300 hours on any game it doesn't matter what it is. It's incredible. That
means you got your money's worth out of the game and then some.
Absolutely. Vampire Survivors is like $5.
Right.
Now, I mean, there is DLC that you could purchase.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if he did that as well, but yeah, Vampire Survivors right now is 15% off, $4.24. And all of the DLCs are also 15% off, ranging in price from $2.11 to $1.69. So there you go.
I'm going to re-download. I took off Vampire Survivor from.
So you can get the Operation Guns,
gotta go re-download
which is the Contra DLC.
Yeah.
You can also get the Emergency Meeting DLC, which includes Among Us.
That's right. I
forgot about that.
Yeah.
So there you go. Good job, Christian. That's awesome.
That is pretty awesome. I hate finding the re-downloads in this thing.
Oh, they're terrible.
It starts with a V, so I have to scroll all the way down. I mean, I know this is a little bit more of our problem because we have so many games we review over the past 7 years.
Couldn't you have just searched for it and re-downloaded it from there?
It doesn't do that.
Yeah, I think if you go to the game page instead of a purchase button, it'll be a re-download button.
It does.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that didn't work before. What the heck?
Nope.
Almost said another word, but
that's okay.
Dude,
all right.
This almost the second time I've had to snap you.
Chris HL94 asks, now that you have completed your first 500 episodes of the show, what do you have planned for the next 500? Sleep.
The same thing we do every week, Pinky.
Take over the world.
Try to take over the world. Seriously, we're just going to record another 500 episodes.
Eventually.
Eventually.
We're trying to get to, we want Our next goal is to get one of those YouTube plaques for Justin's room
Mm.
so
Yeah,
he can
and
hang it up on his wall.
speaking of episodes,
We're
next
only
week.
93,000.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, look, we're rolling on up there. Next week we will not record an episode because it falls on Halloween, and several of us have plans. And so you just there will be no episode this week. Which if you go or next week, if you go and look at the weekly update that we put out every week over on our Patreon, you'll notice it just says end of October update. So we included all of the game releases upcoming through Halloween that we want to kind of look
Yes.
out for. And just we'll update our YouTube channel starting at the beginning of November. And
We won't
that update.
have a live show, but who knows? Justin's been busy on the road, so I don't know if he'll decide all of a sudden that he's going to
He
record
might.
something, or who knows? One of us might decide to. Who
Maybe
knows?
maybe we'll do a spooky stream.
There we go.
Mecha Dragon gave us a Nani?
Well, I don't know what that means.
It's like, what?
Oh, okay.
That re-download button thing is new. I swear to you before that, I mean, not recent. I'm not saying
I
it's
mean,
new
Tim,
recently.
been there like 5 years, dude.
No, it can't be because I could have swore I've looked for that before and it
It's
always
been there.
tells you that it's downloaded or something like that and you had to go to the re-download page. Unless I'm just thinking the regular website. But anyways, it's new, doggone it. No, re-download is cool. All right. So Koopa Kid 80 asks, Sonic X Shadow Generations releasing for the Switch got me thinking, why can't Wario or Waluigi get their own game or at least be added to a past Mario 2D, 3D platformer? We got Bowser's Fury. What about Wario's Garlic Breath or Waluigi's Death Stare?
I said that when Mario 3D World came out, that a DLC pack, since they had Rosalina, show up there at the end game, that like when they brought it to Switch, if they had done a DLC pack with like Wario, Waluigi, and Nabbit, that would have been bonkers. That would have been great. They could have made an easy extra $10-15 off of that.
Right.
Gave them some unique abilities like Rosalina has. It was just money on the table, right? I
Who
do
knows?
think
Who knows?
I
They
would
could have something up
love
their sleeve with that.
I would love to another Wario game, period, like a Wario platform. Because Wario Land, I really think Wario Land Shake It was the last one, right?
I think so.
That he got that was Wii era. And y'all, if you've not played that, holy cow, what an awesome game. That was fantastic. The art style and just the gameplay was phenomenal.
There you go, Nintendo. There's a remake you can put on
Yep.
right
Wario
now.
Land Shake It. Switch.
With
Wario Land
Waluigi,
switch it up.
with Waluigi DLC.
There you go. That's the bonus that they add.
Would love it.
All right. Darth Platypus asks, what game would you all like to see a game trial of?
PICROSS.
Oh my gosh.
We should do a Nintendo Dad's game trial. A Patreon trial.
This is a good question. Because it needs to be a game that you want to promote, right?
Mhm.
Like, that you want to get more eyes on. I think that back in the day, I know they kind of did the test fire like thing for it, but ARMS would be a great one to have had a
Yeah.
a game trial of. Because it wasn't just limited like the test fire, it would have really shown people if that was something that they really wanted to invest in.
The game that I really liked that came out back in 2019 from Capcom, Shin Sakai Into the Depths.
Yes.
I really loved that game. It was a fantastic game, and I think that would be a good one, even though it's from 2019. Just go back and give some light to some of these older games that maybe not have been given its due.
Third-party games like that in general, especially ones that are taking a risk
Mm-hmm.
and trying something new, I
Yeah.
think it's so important for them to get a trial.
Yeah. It was such a great game. I loved the environment in that game. It was really cool.
Mm.
Yeah. Maybe like
If
the
we,
Dragon Quest Builders. That'll probably be a good one for that.
oh yeah, there you go. I would say
I
the
thought they got a
Shinsekai
demo. I
game
thought it
would
was a
be on
demo
my
Yeah,
for
top.
that.
there are demos for both of them, but at least with game trial that gives people a week to play more than just the demo.
Yeah, that's true. More than just a couple of hours or a predetermined stopping point.
Right.
Hmm.
I
That's
was
a
going to say the
fantastic
Dragon
question.
Quest Heroes, but they never went outside of Japan on the Switch.
Hmm. Monster Hunter, I think, would be a good one as well.
Yeah.
Which there was a demo or a test fire for Rise, wasn't there?
I don't remember, but I know, wasn't there a new Stories game as well?
Mm-hmm. That would be a good one. Yep. They're all good choices.
Good question. Hoots asks, in light of Sakurai's final YouTube video, what would you guys do if you had the next 6 months off of work?
Sleep.
I would probably go nuts because I need something to do.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like back in 2021, I'd been at my job. I've been at my church for, let's see, 3 years. I'd been there 8 years at that point, or 8 or 9 years. And they had passed a policy that every 7 years we get a sabbatical. The first one is 2 weeks. The next one is 4 weeks. After that, it's 6 weeks. And that's kind of where you max out because you can combine it with vacation and stuff. And I took a month-long sabbatical because I had the 2 week and I had 2 weeks of vacation. And I did. I like by the end of the second week, I was like, this is weird. I'm done. you know, but we did do some traveling. We did go to Disney for a big period of that. Like I think it was like 7 days, 8 days. We went and saw some relatives that we had never or that we don't get to see very often. Go got to go to church with my mom and dad, which I don't get to do very often since I serve. And so that was good. And year 14, there will be, well, it's another 7 years. It's 7 years from the first one. So I've got another 4 years before I can take another one, get my 4 weeks. But I am definitely going to take that. And that is probably where my wife and I are going to do our trip. If you remember last summer, we went out west, drove I-40 out to Flagstaff and went up to Vegas and drove, is it 50 back? It goes through Colorado and all that. I think it's 50. We drove that back through, stopped and hung out with Jesse and had some Chinese with him and his family and came on home. We're going to do the northern route of that. I want to go up.
Maybe it was 70 if it went, 70 comes through Kansas City.
70. That's it. I wanted to say, I want to go do the northern route of that. I want to do the like up through
No, I
the
guess
Glacier
70's
National Park and
looking at the map is still in my background, but 70 is north of that, I think.
okay. But yeah, we'll probably in that 4 weeks do that because I'll be done with school by then and all that good stuff, and I can't wait. It's gonna be good. So yeah, I'd take my sabbatical. I guess 6 weeks is a sabbatical, but I would love like one good solid week of not doing anything. But then after that, I'm like Jesse, I gotta have something to do.
Yeah, for me, it would be the same thing. I would have to have, I would definitely take a break. And I would have to plan something out kind of like Sakurai did, where he was like, I have this break, what am I going to do with that break? And then planned out some stuff.
Maybe
'Cause
I'll
if I
develop a
don't,
video game.
yeah. If I don't, then I would just be sitting around and driving myself crazy and probably driving my family crazy. But one of the things I do, if I had that time, I would do something like Sakurai plan out the possibility of doing a I have ideas of doing something for the Nintendo dads, but just don't have the time to do it. One of the things I listen to a podcast called Freakonomics. It's on NPR. Usually they play it there, but they also have it as a podcast.
Hmm.
And they have a lot of different topics there. And I like the different kinds of things I hear either between NPR or this Freakonomics radio show where they talk about these various topics. But I would like to plan out a series of episodes where I can talk about topics involving the gaming industry that we can post in our shows and stuff like that. And I think that would be really cool. I just don't have the time because of my day job. But if I had 6 months, I would do it what Sakurai did, plan out the topics, do an outline, figure out who I'm going to interview and all that kind of stuff, and then start getting those recordings done.
Mm.
Yeah, I would probably try, sit down and actually learn that 6502 assembly language that I've been threatening for 2 years. And, actually make use of that Apple II computer sitting collecting dust on my other desk behind me.
Nice. Or I could do 6 months. If I had 6 months off, I could tackle Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right. The last question comes from Mecha Dragon. Let's create the Nintendo Dads playlist. What are some songs you think are just perfect and define what the Nintendo Dads are?
Jesse's Girl.
I like that. I like that. Pinball Wizard by the Who.
Who?
Who?
The band?
Look,
Yes, the
someone let
band.
an owl in here.
Yes.
Who?
I'm sorry. There is a Animaniacs episode where it's this squirrel, Happy, I think her name was, but um the squirrel goes to Woodstock and they do a who's on bass type bit, but it's basically who's on stage.
Yeah, I
The
remember
Who.
that.
They talk about the Who,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
the band.
The Scrappy.
Yeah, Scrap. Yeah. I died. Slappy. Yeah, and then Friendo got it.
Slappy,
Slappy.
yeah.
I died laughing at that because one of the bands they used the names there, and it was the Who's on first base type scenarios, but they used band names at Woodstock, and I just died laughing. It was one of my favorite episodes because of that.
They were so good. That whole series was so
Yes.
good. There's a band that maybe some of our community knows about, but Nintendo featured them years ago on the 3DS. With music
Okay,
videos that
go.
were filmed, not OK Go, I Fight Dragons. And they
Okay.
use a lot of chiptune sounds and Game Boy. Like, I think they modified a Game Boy to like run a keyboard through it to produce
Okay.
effects during their songs. They have some really good music, and I enjoy those. I think, of course, too, anything Weird Al is a
Oh yeah, we would
is
have
a
that
good
in
thing
there.
for us.
We would have some lo-fi things in there, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
I Fight Dragons. They're still around. Songs I recommend are um, Geeks Will Inherit the Earth, um, Save the
One of
World,
the
Get the Girl.
one of the artists that I've been into lately is Pashy. It's a
Hmm,
techno type stuff, but it uses a lot of orchestral stuff in with
okay,
beats and stuff like that. And I've been really digging that kind of stuff right now. So gets
cool.
me in trouble though when I listen to that when I'm driving. Because it's fast.
Okay. There used to be a band, and I don't think that they're together anymore. Um, Probably not.
The friendo says
Yeah,
Triangle Man.
that's a good one.
So
I You go look up the Neskimos, Neskimos. They did like live band versions of old video game music, but like they put their own spin on it, so it wasn't like just them playing it. You know, like because I saw this video of a band in a bar
Yeah.
playing the Mario Kart soundtrack while people played. Like they would play the specific song from the map that they were on, that
Okay.
they were racing on. So it's not like that. This is some good stuff. They did a lot of Mega Man stuff. They did F-Zero, and they were around from, it says, 02 to 2012. So you can go check those out.
Okay.
So
Oh, I would have to have Linkin Park stuff in there too.
Mm.
so this conversation reminded me of a group I found about around 2010-ish called the Leet Street Boys, spelt with threes instead of e's. So, you know, some of their songs are Guitar Hero Hero, She's So Kawaii.
Oh gosh. Fanboy of the Opera.
Yuri the Only One, Fanboy of the Opera. Yeah.
If you let me switch up this question a little bit. If you guys could get a band or artist to write an album for the Nintendo Dads, or we could do a compilation album where we get our favorite artist to write a song for us to add to that, who would you want to do a song for you?
The
Or a couple
Descendants of
songs.
Erderic.
My knee jerk reaction is two bands. I'm on the show, so I get to bend the rules.
Okay.
Primus or the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay. That's a good one. I would say I would have to have Eminem do something for us. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
So
I don't know anyone
instead of
modern.
mom's spaghetti, it's mom's basement.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be modern, Jesse. Yeah, hopefully they're still alive.
Yeah.
Like I would, if I could get David Gilmour from Pink Floyd to do something, that would be cool too.
You need to check out I Fight Dragons cover of Money.
Okay.
They also have a cover of Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. That's really
Nice.
good.
Nice.
So I don't know. I enjoy them quite a bit.
Yeah. We love music here. Maybe we should get the Retro Groove on sometime to talk more music
Ooh.
stuff.
See,
So,
this would be a great question for them.
yes.
Specifically, what I would want to know is if you could choose any band to re-record the Plock soundtrack, who would it be?
There we go. We should throw that question over to
It's
them.
a good
on
question
Retro.
for Plocktober, right?
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah. So, guys,
Now that there's only a week left of it.
Right. Yeah, that's our closer. Speaking of closer, we're going to close out the show here. Thanks for hanging with us for episode 501 of Nintendo Dads. We want to say a huge thanks as we close out the show to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, as well as 100 plus other patrons who help keep the lights on over here at Nintendo Dads HQ, as well as over 20 Twitch Prime subscribers, 1,400 plus Twitch followers, and 7,700 plus YouTube subscribers. Basically, thank you guys. Thanks to each and every one of you. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And so keep letting people know about us. Keep sharing, keep liking and subscribing. We are so super thankful for you. Hit up nintendodads.org for all kinds of goodness like our Spotify podcast feeds of the show, as well as Star Wars Dad and the Retro Logic family of podcasts, which is Retro Logic on Topic, Retro Groove, and Film Logic, our latest YouTube videos and tweets, all of our social media, Patreon and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Manscaped, at manscaped.com, where you can get 20% off your order with free shipping, even the Peak Performance Package, by using the code NINDADS. It's an INDADS. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com, or you can be like Christian and call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. A reminder, wherever you catch us in your podcatcher of choice, please leave us a 5-star review and a comment if they allow that. Or if they have that feature, it helps push us up the charts, helps other people find us, and really, it just makes us happy. So for me, for Jesse and Imposter Bowser, we'll see you next week on the show, or actually see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Do you know who I am?
Nintendo Dads Podcast.